By the end of this video, you'll master the ability to day trade in the most simplest way possible. I remember when I was trying to learn how to trade and people would use big words that I could barely understand. We're gonna cover how to set up a personal account, how to use prop firms if you don't want to use your own capital. You'll learn exactly what candlesticks are and how to mark patterns in the charts. We're also gonna go over fundamentals as well so you don't trade when Trump tweets something crazy. Don't worry about all the hard stuff, I got you. I'm gonna make this so clear. If you guys don't know me, my name is Kalin Trades and I've been studying the market for about 3 years now, and I recently quit my job to become a full-time day trader. It has blessed my family and I tremendously. I used to be homeless. I used to have to go to the pantry every week to feed my family, and mentors would charge thousands of dollars for what I'm about to teach you in this video for free. So grab your notebook, watch this video as many times as you need to, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. So before we even get to the charts, how to place a trade, what to look for, you need to know what a candlestick is. And so what is a candle? What the heck is a candle? You may have seen me online making money from candles, and I'm here to tell you today what a candlestick is. It's gonna be very simple. You're gonna be like, oh, that's what that is. Okay, that's pretty simple. That's pretty easy. I could do that. So a candlestick is essentially where price is at. So we're looking at individual things. Remember, I said I'm gonna keep this very simple and easy for you. So we're looking for very simple things. We just wanna know where we can get at in the trade to make money to get out. And then you can do that when you're going up, and you can do that when you're going down. So the candle just tells what the story is of what's going on. So you have an open and then you have a close. So essentially what you're looking for with one candle is you're looking for the body. So you have the open down here and then you have the close up here. And then the wicks tell the story. So the wicks are telling you what's happening. So this bottom wick right here, this is how low price got. And then this top wick right here, this is how high price got. But it's still closed right here. And so for a sell example, you have the entire body, and then you have the open of it, and then it closed down here. But you have this high wick right here, which tells you this is how high price got. And then you have the wick down here, which tells you how low price got. That tells the absolute story of the candle. So we're trading candlesticks. And so green means up. As simple as that means, green means up. That means I think price is gonna go up. I'm gonna buy. So green means up. And red means down. So I think price is gonna go down, so I'm gonna sell. So those are the only two options that you have in the market. You either buy or you sell. So you might have even heard people say, you just buy low and you sell high. But what does that even mean? So you see that price is going up, so you wanna take advantage of the trend and the momentum, so you're taking it up, and then you are selling when it goes down. This is not stocks. You can make money when price is going down. Isn't that cool? So why do candlesticks matter? Candlesticks matter because this is where we make the money. This is where you've seen me make $20,000 in a few minutes. This is where you've seen my students making $10,000 a trade, $5,000 a trade, $500 a trade in a matter of minutes. This is why they matter. Is that enough convincing? That's why candlesticks matter. So you have to trade candlesticks and not lines. So from my experience, when I knew nothing about the market, I thought that, oh, people are just trading those lines and you could just take the lines up and down and, I guess if it just goes up, you make money. It's like, no, you trade candles because the candle tells the story of what's happening. So we're going to talk about what real pushes are and what real pushes are not, because you want to make sure that you're getting in at the right time as the candle is telling the story. Let me go back to this really quick. So you guys see right here where price is kind of making small movement right here, and then it explodes right here. It comes back up and it explodes right here. This is the overall story of what's happening in the market. Now we have the story going on right here in each individual candle, but think of it as a narrative. So you have each story being told, but you have the entire narrative being explained to you what's happening in the market. And even for a buy example, you have each individual story in these candles, but the entire narrative is being explained to you of what is actually happening. And once you can identify the narrative of what's actually happening, you can make money from the market because you know what's going on. So let's identify what real pushes are in the market. So you'll hear somebody say, oh yeah, gold is pushing and my bias is bearish and I'm going to enter the displacement off the liquidity after the 15-second enters on the 30-minute. Like you'll hear crazy things like that. Essentially, when people say price is pushing, that means it's running to a specific direction. So if somebody is running, so let's just say you're at the mall. Let's just say you're hanging out at the mall and you see like 5 people running the opposite direction. What you gonna do? You gonna run the opposite direction of them, or you gonna run with them? That's how you make money, guys, in the market. So you have banks, hedge funds, and institutions that run the market. They dictate what happens in the market. They dictate where price goes. You see them running, you gonna run in the same direction they running at. So that is what a real push is. Now you'll have fake pushes, which is where the X is right here, and it'll look like price is getting ready to run in a direction, but if you play basketball, you know what a hezzy is. You know that you get crossed up. So there's sometimes in the market where it'll do fake outs, and it'll look like price is going in one direction, but it's really faking you out so that you can become liquidity and actually give them the money that you've invested in. It's a sneaky, tricky industry, and that's why you have to know what you're doing. And that is the reason why traders fail, because they'll get faked out, they'll get mad, and then the revenge trade. And so revenge trade means, oh, I got faked out and I lost 500. Nah, I'm getting back in there. Oh, dang, I got faked out again. I'm down 1,000. All right, let me get back in there. Oh, shoot. I lost another 1,000. I'm down 2,000 on a day. Let me get back in there. You lose all your money. That is what revenge trading is. That's why your mindset and your psychology has to be on point, or you will get what I like to say, clapped. You will get clapped. The market will clap you. All right, so direction is going to help you identify what is happening in the market. So I'm using a line example just to show the direction of what it is, but just picture these as small candles in the market. So you have price going all the way from right here, and it's going up, and then it's going down, and it's going up. So we call those breaks of structure. So anytime price is going up in a succession, because listen, price will never just shoot up in one direction. Price never just goes up. It'll go up, but it'll never just stay going up, or it'll never just shoot down and stay going down. It is a retracement. So you have price right here at this line going up, and then retracement happens and it pulled back. That is a pullback. And then it pushes up, and then it breaks structure. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit just so you can see. You have this line. It broke structure off of this line. Don't be confused, guys. I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep it simple. If I say something, I'm gonna explain it later. Just chill. So you got this low, then it breaks this high. Then it got this low, then you got this high. Price will always do this. But then you have what is called a change of character. So before I get to change of character, you got this low, you got this high, you got this low, you got this high. So break of structure happens when price is continually going in one direction. Now, a change of character is as simple as it sounds. A change of character it's the equivalent of you trusted somebody. You was like, man, like, I know that guy. And then their character changes. You're like, oh, I ain't know you was doing that. Yeah, shoot. But there's a way where you can identify when price changes character, and we'll go into that in a little bit. But you'll see that price changes character and goes in the opposite direction and continues to break structure. Don't be confused, man. It's simple. It's easy, guys. So these lines dictate what price is doing when it's breaking structure. You want it to break those lines. So those are the real pushes. All right, so I trade fair value gaps, right? So fair value gaps is what I trade. So what is a fair value gap? A fair value gap is when you have 3 candles. Repeat after me, say 3 candles, 3 candles. You have 3 candles. You have a 3 candle pattern. So when price is pushing up or pushing down, it leaves what is called a fair value gap or imbalance, right? And what you're looking to do is to take advantage of the imbalance or the gap in the market or the fair value gap. It has so many different names. Just know it's a gap, okay? So imagine that you're at the amusement park and you're running so fast to get to the next ride that your wallet falls out your pocket. You're like, shoot, man, where's my wallet, bruh? Where my wallet at, man? Shoot, it's right there. You go back and get it, and you run to the ride that you was going to. That is what happens. Price is moving so fast that it leaves money on the table in between price right here. And then typically it'll continue in that direction. Same thing with this. Price is going down so fast that it realizes that there's money on the table, and it goes back to get it, and then it shoots down. Now, imagine the same scenario, but you have ADHD. And you're like, I'm at the amusement park, ain't nobody here, I'm running to that ride. And you run to the ride, and you go so fast, you're like, where's my wallet? And you turn around, and you see that you have your wallet. You're like, what was I doing again? Where am I at? Oh, that's a nice ride right there. Let's go to that one. So instead of you going to where you were going, you actually grabbed your wallet when you turned around and continued in the direction that you were going. That, my friend, is called liquidity, okay? So you will imagine that price will go in the direction after it gets the fair value gap, but a lot of times it fakes people out because they think fair value gaps are respected in the market all the time. That is not the case. Fair value gaps do not always get respected. My rule for the market in general is the only thing that gets respected in the market is two things. I mentioned the second one in my course. You got to go ahead and get that. But the first thing is that fair value gaps will always be addressed. They won't always be respected, but they'll always be addressed. And when I say they'll always be addressed, it means that it'll either run to it, bounce off of it, go in your direction, or it'll run to it, clear all the way, go into its direction, or it'll run to it and then completely go all the way the opposite direction. But it will address it. So that is why fair value gaps are very, very important. Now, what is an order block? An order block is when you have multiple different candles, right? This is the story, right? And you have, this is going to be a little hard to explain, but you have, so this is hard to explain because people look at fair value gaps differently, and I'm trying to find the common ground of explaining it. So if you do go watch another video and they say, this is an order block, and you're like, well, Kalin said this is, it's essentially the same thing. An order block, as simple as kept, it is the candle that starts the fair value gap. So it's the first candle of the fair value gap that starts the big push. It's the same thing when going up. It's the first candle that starts the fair value gap. Now, some people look at order blocks as a two candle thing as it's creating a fair value gap. Same with here. They'll look at it as two candles as it's creating the fair value gap. But the reason order blocks are very important is because when you trade supply and demand, you need to have an order block. You need to have an order block present because that is where price typically will react off of. So if you have an entry, which we'll get into how to enter the market and all that stuff in a bit, you just need to know this part. But if you have an entry, you can be able to enter off of that order block or supply and demand zone, and it'll reject. That's essentially why order blocks get respected so much in the industry. But I think fair value gaps, depending on what you trade, is a lot more powerful. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't talk about that much, but I developed an entire course on it if you want to go check it out. It is order block liquidity. And essentially what order block liquidity does is it'll show that there's a big push, right? And you got the order block, you got the fair value gap, you got the other fair value gap, you got a big push, and then you have a pullback. Typically, people will enter on this candle right here as price pushes down again, especially because it broke structure right here. Don't worry. And what happens is it actually becomes liquidity and it pushes back up into the main supply demand zone and then pushes off. Don't be confused. When you guys get the hang of trading, come back to this part. It'll make sense down the line. Same thing with this. It's pushing up and then it creates this. It pushes up again and it liquidates this area, comes down, hits your zone. Please don't be confused. I promise it's not that hard, y'all. So here's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna open up TradingView. We're gonna search the market. We're gonna open full chart. We're gonna set our candlesticks, and then we're gonna do our favorite time frame. We're gonna do that right now. So if you go to TradingView.com, do not get overwhelmed by the way this stuff looks. You can also do this on your phone, and as soon as you guys get in here, you're gonna go to where it says full chart. So you'll click that, and it'll take you to where all the charts look like. The first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our time frame right here. It is a drop box right here that says chart interval. And you're gonna go here and you're gonna mark just different time frames. So you see how I have the 15-second right here? If I unstar that, it'll disappear. If I put it back, it'll come back. So go ahead and do that. I wouldn't have more than 3 different time frames as a beginner on your chart, because you wanna make sure that you don't overwhelm yourself, that you're not mixing different strategies and systems. But my strategy, it goes from the 15-second all the way to the 4-hour, depending on what you're looking at. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our toolbar over here on the right. You can also have it marked right here once you favorite everything, but the most important thing that you're gonna need, if you drop down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is the long position and short position. Those two are gonna allow you to be able to get in the market, to be able to do limit orders. And I'll explain what a limit order is in a little bit. But you wanna be able to mark limit orders, or even do stop orders, or you could just press buy and sell. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here, and this is my toolbar of the things that I trade. You can trade futures, Forex, or options. So futures will allow you to trade things like gold, NASDAQ, the S&P 500, crude oil, the Russell. You can trade live cattle, silver, all these different things. So that is what futures allows you to do. If you guys want to copy that, these are the tickers. If you want to put in a ticker to be able to find something, you'll press the plus button right here, and you have the different things that you can trade, and you'll go to futures and you'll type in gold. And what it'll do is allow you to be able to trade these different variations of gold. And then you have the Forex option, where these are the 3 Forex instruments that I look at. I look at GJ, love me some GJ. I look at EU, and then I look at gold. And then you can trade options, which I do not trade options, but a lot of people love QQQ, especially my community. They love QQQ, they love SPY, they love NVIDIA, they love Tesla, and they love Apple. You can also trade like Amazon and all of that stuff, but I don't trade options. I just keep this up here, so when I'm looking for my strategy and system, when I trade live with my students, we'll look at different things. So if we go back to the future side, because I primarily trade gold, you'll see what price is doing on the 15-minute. Now, you'll hear people say things online like price is fractal, so it'll do different things. Pretty much what that means is what's done on the 15-minute will also be done on the 1 minute, on the 15-second, and on the 4-hour. Price moves the same on all time frames. That's why I can get in on the 15-second and treat it as if it's the 15-minute, because it moves the exact same. You'll see price do a complete downtrend, create gaps in the market, do all these different things, create big wicks on the 15-minute, but on the 15-second, it'll do the same exact thing. It'll just look different. So if I'm looking at the market right here, I'm looking at some sort of news, which will go over fundamentals, but these type of candles is crazy. This is Trump's market. This is just what happens in Trump's market. You'll think that price is going up, you'll take a buy down here, and then you'll coast it up, and then all of a sudden just it'll spike down and you'll lose a whole bunch of money. So this is really hard mode for a lot of traders who are trying to learn how to trade. And if you can master the markets in this era of trading, you're going to be a beast, man. You'll be a beast. So let's go back to the 15-minute and let's reset chart view. And this is just a downtrend. This is what everything looks like right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up a broker. So we pretty much have all the things that we need. You guys can go in your different toolbar right here. I have my long position, my short position. I have a trend line set. I have my horizontal ray, because I want to be able to mark up different things. I have text. I have different arrows. So if I want to point at a key price point, then I could be able to do that. I have my circle, so if I want to mark something for students who need to see something clearly, I'll do that. You can also have your horizontal box or your rectangle box. You can mark that, and then I also have a highlighter where I can just draw certain things. So you can do all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and go to the broker side right here. So the broker that I recommend is TradingView. So you can use TradingView to be able to put money in the market. Now, I liquidated all of my funds, but I'll pull up my personal account and this is what you'll see. So they're gonna put you through an extreme vetting process. They're gonna ask for your address, so don't be weird. They're gonna ask for your address, they're gonna ask for your social security, they're gonna ask for all of that stuff because they're gonna have to send taxes and all that stuff to be able to make sure that you know, because you got to pay capital gains tax. So they're going to do all of that stuff. They're going to vet you. They're going to make sure that you don't do insider trading. They're going to do all of that stuff. So they do an extreme vetting process. That's what all brokers do. Prop firms, on the other hand, don't do that. But personal brokers do that. So if you go to live trading, when you guys are on TradingView, you want to be able to put money into your account. So the first thing that I want to make sure that everybody does is you go to TradingView, because I love to trade on TradingView because you can chart on there, you can see what's happening, and you can buy and sell. Don't worry, we'll get to all of that stuff. But you want to make sure that you have this add-on so you can be able to get in the market, place a buy or a sell, and then get out of the market when it's done. So you have to be able to fund your account to be able to do that, to open up TradingView, but it's very important that you do that. I don't use the order flow. I don't use the advanced charting. I don't do market replay on all this stuff. Now, I do know people that use level 2 data, but I personally don't use it. I'm looking into it, and if I find that I like it, then I'll do it. So to be able to fund the account, you can go to transfers right here, and then you can put fund account. I'm not clicking it. I don't want people to see my personal information. I don't even feel like blocking it out because this video is going to be like a very long video, so I ain't doing it. But just know you can fund your account, and it's very easy to follow. The next thing that you can do, if you don't want to use your own personal capital, you can use what is called a prop firm. Now, when I introduce prop firms to people, they say prop firm, like they, you know what I'm saying, because it's a brand new concept, but it's called a prop firm, and you can use propfirmmatch.com, and they show you different prop firms that you can apply for. And so they pretty much go through a vetting process. You have to pass an evaluation or a challenge to be able to have access to capital. So you pay an upfront fee to have access to their money, which is still simulated capital, but the withdrawals are real. So if I went with, let's say, Tradify, which is the greatest prop firm, use my promo code. It's Kalin Trades. You'll get 40% off on every single thing that you try to trade with them. But if you go to Tradify, you can use their evaluations. So if you click Tradify, you can scroll down and you see that they have a brand deal with the UFC fighter. I forget his name, forgive me. But you can go to Get Funded Now, and as you scroll down, you can see that they have different options. So do you want to be funded with $25,000? Do you want to be funded with $50,000? Do you want to be funded with $100,000? Do you want to be funded with $150,000? You can be able to get funded with all of these different things to be able to get in the market and trade with their money and not your own. So they have different rules where you can get funded in 1 day, you can get funded in 3 days, or you can have instant funding. So if you choose the instant funding option, you will automatically pay $220 to have an automatic $25,000 in funding and trade that money. The only thing about the instant funding for all of these prop firms is the rules are very, very hard and they're not beginner friendly. So I just want to make sure that I'm very, very clear on that part so that people don't get confused. So that's the future side. Let's go to the Forex side. My favorite Forex prop firm is Goat Funded Trader. They have an incredible prop firm that you guys can trade with Forex. Also, Prop Firm Match, they allow you to vet everything. Like they have the reviews, you know, all these different things. If you pick a prop firm, make sure that they are on propfirmmatch.com, because if they're not on propfirmmatch.com, that means they're not vetted, they haven't been assessed, they haven't been reviewed like that, and you probably gonna get scammed. So make sure that you are going on propfirmmatch.com. I recommend Goat Funded Trader. They're affordable. They're really, really good. Use my promo code. So here's a really good tool that I don't see a lot of people talking about. It's starting to be talked about a lot more, but it is called Trade Syncer, and they allow you to copy trade. So if you go back and you go to your prop firm, you can actually get more than one prop firm. You can get like 5, you can get like 10. And what you can do is you can connect the prop firm and you'll have one master account. So I made $21,000 yesterday. And with this, you can actually have one master account where you make $4,000, but it copy trades on all the other accounts. It is really cool that we're able to do that and copy trade. Now, for me, I like to have no less than 10 prop firm accounts that I'm trading with, but I made $4,000 on 5 of these things. So imagine what it would have been like if I had 10 accounts. It would have been 42,000. That would have been crazy. So this is a really, really good tool of how to be able to copy trade and have one master account where all the other accounts follow. That way you don't actually have to risk a whole bunch of money. You can really risk like $100. And if you have 10 different accounts, you really made $1,000. So you can have $100 on one account, and then you can have 10 accounts, and then you can get $1,000. Instead of trying to get $1,000, which is really hard for a lot of beginner traders, you really can just do that and make it super easy for yourself. So let's go back to the charts and let's start identifying certain things in the market. Again, this is a full beginner course, beginner strategy to be able to get you going and understand what the market is. If you guys have to watch these videos over and over and over to be able to help you, it will be a blessing to you. All right, this is how we enter the market, right? So you want to make sure that you understand the different market order types that you can be able to do to get in the market. So remember, we went over green means up, red means down. So green, you take the buy, red, you take the sell. So if you wanted to do a market order right here, you could just press buy. You could just press buy right there. And if you wanted to trade without a stop loss and you was just gangster like that, you could just go ahead and you be up 100,000 right now. The reason I'm laughing is because you don't ever want to trade like that, right? You don't want to trade without a stop loss. You want to at least have a stop loss, right? So if you put your stop loss right there, and you want to have a take profit. So a stop loss and a take profit essentially means a stop loss is where it stops you from losing more money, and the take profit is I'm taking my money before the market reverses on me. So this green line is where your take profit is, and the stop loss is where your orange line is. And you want to just make sure that you have a stop loss, because you would have lost $1 billion just now. That's why you have a stop loss. So you have entry models like that. So let's just say that we took a sell right here, just a random sell, just got in the market, just wanted to sell real quick. And we listened to Kalin trades on this one. We set our stop loss and we got to take profit. So we risked 114,000 to make 216,000. We would have lost again. So that's why you have to have a strategy instead of just pressing random buttons. So you have market orders, right? So that is the market order type. This right here is the limit order, and you're gonna need your toolbar for this right here. Remember, we set up the toolbar. Did we set up the toolbar? Yeah, we set it up. I'm recording these videos out of order because I want to just do what's important, but no, we set it up. So you have your long position right here, which is where you buy because it's going up, and then you have your short position right here where you sell because it's going down. So you have your buy right here, and a market order essentially means that I'm gonna get in the market when price comes back to my area. That's what a market order, or what a limit order is. So price is going up, and you're like, I think price is actually gonna come to this box right here. And so I'm gonna take a trade when it hits this box. So let's see what happens. So we go to create limit order, and then you will have limit, and you'll just press a number. You can also do this on your phone if you hold it, and then you'll get in the market. So look, you're in the market. It went down to your zone, and it hit the mark. You know, it hit the thing. It hit the thing, son. And it's ranging. Dang it, almost hit your TP. Dang it. So again, this is why you need a strategy. All right, so let's do stop order. So if you take it all the way back, so this is what a stop order is, and I do not like stop orders. It's very dangerous, but you'll put it ahead of price. So if you think price is going up, like, so price is right here. If you think price is going up, you'll say, I'm gonna get in when price pushes up right here, and I'll just take it to right here. And I don't wanna lose if it goes down here. So you'll create the limit order, and then you'll go to stop, and then you'll press your button, and you'll do your stop order. And it didn't even trigger you in. This is why I don't do stop orders. Oh, it finally got you in. All right, so it got you in over here. You're gonna put your TP right here. You're gonna put your stop loss right here. All right, let's see what happened. Let's see. Dang, you would have still lost, bruh. So you gotta have a plan, guys. Okay, you gotta have a plan. Can't just get in the market just putting random orders. So that is where strategies come into play. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a clip of a really cool beginner-friendly strategy that you guys can use right after I finish discussing this. But it's a video that I previously recorded, and I think it's going to be really helpful for you. And it's really for the 5-minute entries, but I believe that it'll be a blessing for you. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna do something better. I'm gonna play you guys a clip of the strategy that I currently use in the market, and I'm gonna leave out important details for the people that bought the course because I want to be fair to you. But I believe that if you even use a piece of the strategy, you guys are going to be incredible traders with that strategy. So I'll do that for you guys. And then I also want to go to the indicators tab because I actually didn't talk about indicators enough in this video. I don't even think I brung it up in this video. But for indicators, if you go right here where it says indicators, metrics, and strategies, if you click that, it'll bring you to this tab. So they have indicators where it can tell you when to buy, it can tell you when to sell, it can tell you what price is doing on different things. They have video tutorials of different indicators. So let's just press buy and sell and let's see what happens. So mind you, the indicator that I built is a buy and sell indicator, but it goes with my strategy. So it's not a random buy and sell, but they have a lot of random buy and sell indicators. So let's see what this is right here. They have a buy and sell indicator right here. So this indicator right here will tell you to buy right here, and then it would have told you to sell right here, and it would have told you to buy right here and all that. So let me introduce to you something called lag and something called cap. Now, this looks really good, and a lot of beginner traders will get tripped up with this. The reason these do not work, if it worked, everybody be doing it and they would be profitable. Don't nobody want to sit at the charts for hours in a day and just press buy and sell based on their strategy. Man, if this thing worked, everybody be doing it. But it don't work, so nobody does it. The reason why it doesn't work is there's a thing called lag. And essentially what it does is it will print a buy way after the fact happened. And what it does is it gets you amped up. It's really to target beginner traders. It gets you amped up and it makes you believe, yo, it said to buy right here. And if I would have bought right here, I'd have made $1 billion. But what the truth is, they'll print a buy when price is already like all the way up here. So it makes you think that it happened as price was going up, but it did not happen. So that is called lag. And it's what I call cap. So you want to make sure that you are trading correct indicators. Really, the only indicators that you truly, honestly need. Let me take this bull crap off myself. Take this bull crap off it for my students to be like, oh, what you doing? You want to make sure that you have proper indicators. So what I use is SMC structures and fair value gaps. It helps you identify even the littlest fair value gap on the chart. And then I use the EMA, which it tells you where, the momentum of price and just where it's going. I never trade when the EMA is in the middle of my price. But then I also have an indicator that I built called the secret sauce indicator, and it tells you when to get in based off of my strategy. All right, so my indicator is a little advanced, but it really helps a lot of traders who don't have time to market the charts, who don't have time to sit and identify where different price points are and different things like that. So what it does is it tells you when to get in based off of my strategy. So it'll mark key points for you like the high and low. It'll also tell you when to get in. So if we were to get in on this fair value gap right here, this box, our TP would have been hit right here. So that's essentially how the indicator works for my strategy. So you'll want indicators that actually work, that don't lag, because if you depend too much on indicators, then you'll get tripped up at some point or not. You will get tripped up. I'm telling you, indicators are not safe. So you have the indicator tab. You also have different candle settings that you can go with. So if I take my indicator off and I do the Heikin-Nashi candle, which people love Heikin-Nashi candles a lot, but the Heikin-Nashi candles actually don't have fair value gaps. It really just shows the momentum of price as it's going down. I like the way Heikin-Nashi candles look, but I can't trade them because I trade fair value gaps. You also have different candles like hollow candles. And, you know, I'll actually do hollow candles on my own when I'm customizing my candles. And I'll show you guys how to customize your candles in a little bit. But, you know, you have different stuff like that. There's also just many different things that you guys can see in the market that, you know, just go ahead and explore TradingView. I'll also go over the plans as well so you guys can see it. So they have monthly and annually where you could save 17% off annually. I'm not an affiliate, but it's just a good thing to have. But most people use the essential because they can backtest. You won't be able to backtest without having the essential plan. A lot of people use the plus plan for different reasons. Now, because I sell an indicator, I actually have to have the premium plan. If I wasn't selling an indicator, I would be using the essential plan and being just fine. I'm telling you, you don't really need to do a lot. So that's the plan for TradingView that you'll want to do, is the essential plan. Once you get accumulated and understand, and if you're really like, I'm going to take this serious, then go ahead and get the essential plan. So here is how you customize your charts. If you guys notice, I have a volume ticker right here. It shows me the number of the volume that's in the market. And when I'm trading in the market, I want to know what the volume is for my candle. So if you want to do that, then you go to status line and then you'll just click volume. I keep the logo up. So if I move this over, you guys see what gets taken away, like the logo for the candle, the title for the candle could be taken away, which why would you do that? The open market status, which I actually don't pay attention to that. But then you have the volume. I keep the volume on there because I really want to know what's going on. If you guys want to change the color of your candles, you'll go to symbol and you can change the color of the body, the borders, which is, the outside of the body, which is how you can get those hollow candles. If you just keep the border but take away the bodies like this, you'll get it like that. Or you can take away the wicks and you'll just have the bodies. You can do different things like that. You can also do the canvas. So if you guys want to change the color of the actual background, if you want a white background, if you want a black background, if you want a red background, all that stuff, you can go ahead and change it. You customize it. I love seeing people online with just different color charts. It's just really cool to see how creative people get. It's really cool stuff that you can do with TradingView. All right, so here's the fundamental side so that you're not trading when Trump is tweeting or you're not trading when there's a speech going on. You want to be able to go to forexfactory.com and it'll allow you to know what's happening in the world. Now, I have people avoid red folder news. You'll have all these yellow folders of just regular news, different things that's going on, and they give you the date, but you want to avoid red folder news because you can trade a proper system, but what will end up happening is a whole bunch of nonsense will happen. So what will end up happening is Trump will say something crazy or something crazy will happen in the world and price will just spike. So you think that it's going in one direction and it just spikes in a different direction. So you want to be able to avoid red folder news as much as you can so that you can be able to not lose money, not get manipulated in the market, all of that stuff. You want to be able to avoid that. So you have Trump speeches, you have the Fed chair speeches, you have CPI, you have FOMC, you have PPI, you have all these different things that will shift the market and move the market. And that's where a lot of heavy buyers or sellers come in. That's really the main amount of fundamental information that you're going to need, but you can go ahead and do research on that part specifically just to know what to avoid, when to get in, when you should wait. So news will typically happen during New York session, which we'll talk about sessions in a minute, but it'll happen during New York session. All right, so here are the tiers of profitability. This is essentially what people will go through when they start their trading journey. So they'll start off as unprofitable, where they're trying to figure out what the heck is even going on. That is probably you right now. You are unprofitable, and it's okay. We're going to fix that. So you are unprofitable, you're emotional, you're inconsistent, you're revenge trading, and you have no edge. The next step is the break even trader. So you're starting to develop rules, and because you have rules now, you know what you're doing now, and you're getting the hang of it, but you're still over trading and you're not too sure about the strategy. You don't trust it yet. So you're making money, but you're also losing it. So you're break even. So the same amount that you're investing, you're starting to get it back, and you're kind of at a level playing field of not making money where you can retire your parents and all that stuff, but you're at a point where, you're not losing money as much anymore, which is a great place to be in. The issue is a lot of traders will be there for a long, long time. And if you are under healthy coaching and correct coaching and great mentorship, you shouldn't be there for a long time. If you are, then something is wrong. And then you have profitable, and then you have consistently profitable, which is where every trader dreams of being at. You want to be a consistently profitable trader where you're disciplined, you're confident, you have a great strategy, and your psychology is fully locked in. All right, gang, I got 3 signs that you're about to have your trading breakthrough, man. I've been so excited to make this video because this is kind of like what I experienced from my journey, and I believe that it's gonna be a blessing to a lot of people, because I feel like a lot of people are a lot closer than they actually think they are. And even though you can go through losing streaks and not really be where you want to be with trading, I feel like by the end of this video, you're going to be very inspired, and you're going to be excited, and you're going to be ready to hit the charts running in these coming days, man. As you guys know, we're getting ready to wrap the year up. I was able to have my first 10K month last month, which was really, really cool. And so my goal for this week or next week, I'm not gonna overtrade, I'm not gonna do the most, whatever happens happens, but it's to have my first 10K week. And so with that being said, let's jump right into it. So the first thing that is a clear sign that you're about to hit your breakthrough is you're not anxious to place trades. One of the things that I struggled with at the beginning of my trading journey, especially as I was trying to figure out what system worked for me, I would always get these butterflies in my stomach before I would enter a trade, and I'd be like, oh my God, like this could be a win or loss. Oh my God, like just putting so much pressure on it. And especially like if you're in a challenge phase and you're not actually funded yet, you shouldn't feel any type of stress or pressure to enter a trade. Like just press the button, bro. Like if you studied your system, if you went hard with your system, like you don't need to put additional pressure on yourself to be able to execute a trade, man. Just blow the challenge or pass it. Like, like you don't have to risk a little increments. If you don't have the capital, don't go crazy like that. But if you feel like, if you have like $1,000 to invest, in trades, hopefully, with my fund of futures, the core plan is $77. So, and then they run discounts all the time. So, if you feel like you have a good enough buffer in your personal bank account to be able to just invest, you blow or pass that thing, man. Like, especially like if you're learning the system. So, don't do it in one day, but like, if the profit target is no more than $1,500 a day to get 3,000 to pass the challenge, bro, like risk 5, go for 1 or 3, or risk 8 and go for 1 or 2, whatever. So don't put pressure on executing the trade. Like, don't feel nervous about it. Just get in and get out. You will know that you're close to your breakthrough when you don't have nervousness as you're entering a trade. I think the second thing that you absolutely can identify that, oh my gosh, I'm about to hit my breakthrough, is not just when you start passing challenges, but it's when you start getting payouts, but then you blow your account and then you got to start over, but you're passing again. But then, you kind of go through this cycle of break even. And if you do prop firms, bro, like it's so easy to blow those things, man. You could put in weeks of progress and one day crash out and just go until, and it's just, you cook. So The second thing is absolutely knowing that you're in that cycle of not even break even, but you're a little bit above that where you're like profitable, like where you're like, okay, I'm at least passing challenges now. Like for me, I blew like 70 accounts before I really got, funded, before I got profitable. I blew 70 of them things. And, when I started passing challenges, I kind of went through the cycle of like, okay, passing, um, getting close to a payout. My psychology not there yet. I'm on tilt, and then I'm passing. Okay, I got the payout, but I got greedy. Tilt, you know what I'm saying? Pass the challenge, got the payout. Okay, got a second payout, got a third payout. Tilt, so it's like a wheel, and you go through this kind of cycle of just trying to figure out like, okay, how can my psychology be in point to be able to stay in this cycle to where you're not going on tilt every step of the way. And it's crazy. One of the people in my Discord, shout out to Laura, man, she showed us that there's actually a way on TradingView, especially if you trade on a funded account or a personal account with TradingView, that you can actually set a daily loss limit. And so if you set a daily loss limit, you can do $1,000. So if you know that you go on tilt past $1,000, you don't have to go crazy, and you can just do what you got to do, get up there, and if you start going on tilt a little bit, it hits your loss limit, you can't trade till the next day. Sorry, I got interrupted, y'all. Somebody was pulling up. They was trying to take a picture of something, but I was like, what you doing? But anyway, so that's the second step, when you know that you're in that cycle. And I would even say the third thing, like to really pinpoint everything, man, if you can explain your strategy to a T. I'm gonna add psychology for number 4. I'll get into that in a minute. But number 3, if you can, dang, bro, my fault, y'all. I don't live in the hood. I don't know you know what I'm saying? Anyway, if you feel like you can explain, if you know you can explain your strategy to a T, like if somebody asks you, what strategy do you use? And they start saying, oh yeah, supply and demand with the Fed price action, but I do liquidity sometimes. And like they kind of struggle through it. They don't really understand. Then for me, when I ask that question and they respond that way, I'm like, you don't know what you're doing. So for me, if you ask me what my strategy is, I'm looking for a breaker structure on the 5 or 15 minute. I'm going down to the 1 minute. I'm entering off the second or third fair value gap. That's it. That's literally it. And explaining it, that's it. But I also have like these different mental confluences where it's like, okay, I know on the 15-minute price just took liquidity. I know on the 15-minute there was a big rejection right here. I also know on the 15-minute that it's like 2 minutes left for the next candle to show. And always during Asia session on gold, last 15 minutes of most candles, there's always a big move before it does what it does. So anyway, like there's a lot of these small mental confluences. But if somebody pinpoint asks me, like, what is your strategy? I'm going to tell them that. By the way, my strategies, I got 2 of them right now. They're free on YouTube. Go check them out if your strategy sucks. And I got a third strategy with an additional confluence that I believe could be a blessing to you that will be dropping at the end of this week, I hope. And that one is paid for. And if you can't afford it, go check out the other strategies. It's free, and I'm telling you, it'll bless you. Anyway, so you got to be able to explain your strategy to a T. I'm telling you, if you do that, it'll bless you. It'll get you straight. It'll get you right. Okay, fourth thing before I wrap this video up completely, you have to make sure your psychology is in check, it's in order, it's in line, and there's nothing that will break your psychology. I was about to say strategy, but I got it. There's nothing that's going to break your psychology. So I would say for me, if I lose 2 times in a day, I'm going to be transparent. I want to get my money back. It's like, okay, I know that price was supposed to go right here, but it wicked me out. I lost $600. Nah, bruh, I got to get my money back. And so because that's something that I personally struggle with, that's something that I know for a fact that I have to absolutely work on. That's why I have my daily loss limit. And, I have to give my wife my computer, step away from it, start working on music, like do something to clear my mind from the loss, right? So absolutely making sure that your psychology is on point is going to be so key, but also not being greedy. Like for me, I just made a video about why trading is brutal. And I don't even know if I'm gonna post it anymore, but trading is so brutal, man, because you can work so hard for months and end up blowing your account in one day, bro. Like that's how brutal trading is. You could see $100,000 and price reverses on you and it hits your break even, bro. Like that's how brutal trading is. And so for a psychology standpoint, you have to stay solid, you have to stay on point, even if you're on a crazy win streak. There's been so many times where I've been on a crazy win streak, and because I know for a fact price is trying to get to a certain location, I'll just crash out because I'm like, I know price is trying to get there. Like, of course, I changed my bias a lot, which I explained in my course. But if I'm set on, okay, it didn't want to go up here, I know for a fact it's trying to go down here. I'm gonna do what it gotta do what it takes to, get price down here. I end up like just going through this thing. So I honestly feel like you will hit that next chapter and you will hit that breakthrough when all of these things are set in stone and fixed. And psychology is going to get you there. Hey, really quick before we go, somebody's calling me. I gotta run this Saturday errand. But look, before you guys go, I want you to know my Discord is free. We have a trade with me. We took a break from it, but we're gonna get back to it very, very soon. I'm letting people know right now. If you join the VIP right now, which is $70 a month, you could cancel it after the $70. You will get my $300 course for free. I'm telling you right now. I wasn't even gonna say this on my video. I wasn't even gonna say this on YouTube, but I'm letting people know right now. If you get the VIP and my free Discord, the paid, service, you will get the $300 course for free. That's a huge discount. So if that interests you, go ahead and tap in. Link in the description. Hey, if this video helped you at all, please like. Also comment. Let me know what you feel like you struggle with the most, what you feel like you need to improve in the most, and subscribe, bro. Please, I'm trying to get these videos out to everybody. I'm like 2 watch views away from getting funded on YouTube. I'm funded on the charts, but I'm not funded on YouTube. I'm so close. Please do that for your boy. I'll see y'all in the next video. All right, peace.
So the strategy is in 3 simple steps. 1, you're going to see a push up or push down on the 15-minute, 30-minute, or 1 hour. Only one time frame is needed. You can use multiple time frames, but really only one higher time frame is needed. Next thing that you're going to do is you're going to drop down to the 1 minute, wait for 2 mitigated fair value gaps before you enter, and then you enter off the most recent fair value gap to cover swing highs and swing lows. So the reason that this strategy works very, very well is because you're not focusing on a full top-down analysis. You're really just focusing on one higher time frame push and then dropping down to the 1 minute to get good entries. So here's a great example right here where you can identify mitigated fair value gaps. And don't worry, I'll give you an indicator that shows you when a fair value gap is mitigated, so you can just jump on the continuation. But you have multiple different examples right here for you to be able to get an entry like this. Going for a 1 to 16, I think, 19. That means if you risked $1,000, you would have made $19,000 in one trade. Is crazy. The reason this works is because you're trading based off of the 1 hour. It's really a 1 hour strategy, but you're just entering off the 1 minute. You just want to create the continuation for you to be able to enter. So the step 1, again, higher time frame push. This is the 1 hour, 15-minute, or 30-minute, whatever higher time frame push you see happening. This is the higher time frame push. The step 2 is no less than 2 mitigated fair value gaps. You want 2 fair value gaps to be mitigated. So right here, you got 1, you got 2, and you would have entered off the 3rd one for price to keep pushing. Make sure that there is a break of structure in these trades. In order for you to enter off this 3rd fair value gap, it has to break. So let's go over breaks of structure real quick. So a real break of structure is when the body closes above a wick. If you don't understand that, then go watch a video on break of structure and then come back to this strategy. But a real break of structure is when you see price breaking above a previous high wick with a body close. That is the true break of structure. The reason the one on the right is a fake break of structure is because what can happen is it can be a liquidity grab on each side and you can start getting faked out. So you want to make sure that there is a body close on the 1 minute after it breaks structure. If you guys want my mentorship, this is all the information. Pause the video. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. So let's just say that we entered the market right here. We're on NQ right now. We're on the 1 hour. You see a big old push. Let's try to get in this market. So the first thing that I want you guys to download in your indicator tab is the 30 EMA. That one is going to be able to help you identify when price is pushing off of price and just wants to continue in the direction. If it crosses, then you probably want to get out the trade or not consider trading, because a reversal might happen. And so in this one, you have the SMC structures of fair value gaps, which tells you every single fair value gap that you have within the past, couple minutes, seconds, hours, whatever you trade. And so in these settings, you're going to turn this off. And that's all the indicators that I have. We'll go over the secret sauce indicator that I have. I built this. It's helped people get funded, get profitable. It's really crazy. We'll go over that. And then this Algo Alpha is for our VIP exclusive. If you guys want more on that, then you got to do that. It's really like an order book. It tells you where resting orders are. It's really crazy. So you can avoid getting faked out. So let's just say that we enter the market like over here. So you see this big old push on the 1 hour and you're like, yo, I got to get in on this. Fully going up. What you're going to do is you're going to drop to the 1 minute. It's really simple, guys. This strategy is so, for my ladies, y'all, this strategy is key. So what you're doing is you're looking for fair value gaps to get mitigated, right? So you have a fair value gap right here. So that would be number 2. The one down here would be number 1. And so you're trying to enter off the third one. You would have entered off the most recent fair value gap, cover either a swing low or cover a couple fair value gaps, depending on, how big price is. And let's just try to go for a small little push here. So we're going to risk this much and we're going to get in the market. So let's try to see. We'll chase price a little bit. So the only times where you'll chase price is after it approaches a setup, and you'll only chase it 3 times. So you give it 3 times after your setup occurs to try to get in. If you can't get in, then don't get in the market because you will get cooked. All right, we're in the market right here. We're going to set our stop loss and our take profit. Of course, do that before you get in the market. When you're back tested, it won't let you do it. So, all right, we're going to fast forward. Boom, we're in drawdown, pushing up. Boom, good push. So don't be fazed by the $25,000 that you're making off of this. Hold your trades. What you can do is you can get close to break even, start trailing, but we ain't gonna do none of that. We're just gonna let it rock. So, well, I did it, but I did it by accident. So we're just gonna let it rock, let it rock, let it rock. Boom, 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 TP hit. So that is how you would enter on a buy example. So let me give you guys a quick sell example. Sorry. And then I want you guys to back test this and see how it works for yourself. We'll do a sell example for NQ. This strategy works literally on every single thing in the entire galaxy. Whatever you trade, we have somebody in our Discord that trades live cattle and orange juice and soybean, the exotic thing. So I'm not a fan of that, but it works. Okay, so on the sell side, right, you have the 1 hour and you have a big old drop. The only thing I'm trying to do now is drop to the 1 minute to see how many fair value gaps is mitigated. So we have one mitigated fair value gap right here. We got another one right here. You even have a one right here. So what we're doing next is we're just waiting for price to break a structure. You want the body close below the wick. Let's try to get in. We got another fair value gap that was mitigated, which is a good sign. So it's not quite there yet. So what I typically do in scenarios like this is I'll wait for price to push all the way down. All right, y'all, here we go. So we're going to do our sell right here. Finally broke through. Took forever to break through. We're going to cover a swing point. I'm going to go for a 1 to 2. We in there. We're going to set our stop loss up here but above that swing point. And then we're going to set our stop loss right here below the swing right here. Boom. TP hit. Okay. All right. So the strategy's fire. The strategy's a banger. It's free. Start using it now. Go ahead and backtest. Somebody actually backtest this for me and tell me what the win rate is, because I believe that it's going to be a high win rate. Also, I want to show you guys before I end the video my secret sauce strategy. I want to show you guys my secret sauce indicator. So my secret sauce indicator tells you when to buy and sell. It would have actually taken this same exact trade right here, which is so cool. So what it does is it detects, based off of the strategy that I have in my course, the best setups to take. And so it won't take the trade for you. It just tells you where to enter. And so we would have caught a win right before this move right here. And then we would have caught this win right here. That's so cool. That shows you how synonymous my trading style is for us to not even see this happen. And then for, the indicator to be able to catch it as well. That's fire. So, yeah, that's what it does. It is on sale right now. It's not going to be on sale for much longer. Oh, shoot. You would have caught 3 wins with that indicator. You would have caught a loss right here and some manipulation. You would have won right here. The indicator has a 75% win rate, and it's really, really good. So I just want to be a blessing to people. I remember what it was like when I was broke and I was trying to learn how to trade, and mentors charged thousands of dollars. I couldn't afford it. And so I just want to be a blessing to people. So my stuff will always be affordable. It is on sale right now, but go ahead and get your hands on that. I feel like it'll be a blessing for you. Until next time, I'll see y'all soon.
All right, y'all, as we come to a close on this video, I hope this was a blessing for you. Sorry the audio has changed. I realized that I need to show my Discord, and I don't feel like bringing my microphone out. So we are close to 3,000 members in our Discord and 179 in our VIP. I'm going to explain what the VIP is in a bit, but when you guys join the free Discord, you guys are going to be brung to a verified page. What you're going to do is you're going to click verify, and it'll give you access to all of these channels. So the next thing that you're going to do when you join is you're going to go to welcome, make sure that you read the rules, and then you'll see the rules. And then please do not get scammed. I have so many impersonators of people that are trying to be Kalin Trades and steal people from me and scam them. So do not get scammed by impersonators. I will never DM you first. I will never hit up your inbox. People even scamming my coaches, man. Like, they're just using their names. It's really unhinged behavior, but it is what it is. So once you do that, come and we'll greet you. A lot of people, my mods will come and tell you exactly where you need to go. We'll ask you what are you looking for, all of that stuff. And then we have different trading videos. So in our trading video section, first of all, if this video was helpful for you at all, please like, comment, subscribe. But we also have different videos that go into specific things just in case you missed it in this hour-long video. So how do you set up your trading account? How do you place a trade on TradingView? What prop firms can you use? How do you copy trade? All the basic things that you'll need. There's some people who may never come across this YouTube video, and they might see me on Instagram or TikTok, and you know, they won't see it. So that's what these videos are for. And then it talks about my indicator. How do you have access to it? I also give routine indicator updates. So currently we're on Secret Sauce 5. Now it may go up to Secret Sauce 6. Actually, their name's getting ready to change, so it's not gonna be called Secret Sauce no more. But you'll be up to date once you guys join it. But we also have a PDF that tells you what the indicator does, how to be able to access it, how to be able to use it. I also have my important links right here that tell you how to trade with us, the Secret Sauce course, all of that stuff. And then we have a community chat. You can ask a question if you guys need help in it. See, we have 2 tickets open. My mods are handling it. But then we also have a win section that I think is great. People are making money with the strategy, and it's just going crazy. So if you guys want to catch moves like these, like what you're seeing, please get the course, because it will bless you. It will help you. It'll allow you to make a whole bunch of money. And then also with the indicator, people are catching wins on the indicator. People are cooking with the indicator. We actually just made this channel yesterday because we wanted to separate the regular wins from the indicator wins, just to tally up how people are doing. We also have a lesson section where people just, they'll lose. And you're always going to lose when you trade in the market. It's part of it. And instead of calling it a loss, it's a lesson. And then we also have our past challenge section with people who are using the system. People are passing challenges and we're congratulating people. We have a really healthy community here. We just want to treat it like it's a family and just be full of encouragement, so you guys can go through all of these different things. We also have our VIP section, and this is our schedule right here for our VIP. So we trade twice a day, and we have a free call on Fridays. And so we have multiple coaches that trade our strategy. So the coaches have their own twist to the strategy as well, but we all trade very, very similar. We trade the same. Come on here and learn from us. I think it's going to be really helpful. I also have psychology videos and just things to keep your mind in check, and then different resources that we can download. We're also going to be adding to this significantly very soon, so please be on the lookout for that. And then every live session that we have, we try to record them so that if people miss it, if you have work, if you have an emergency, if you have stuff going on, you can go ahead and catch the recording. So that is what happens in our Discord. So if that interests you, please join up. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it blessed you. All right, y'all. So I hope that this course was a blessing to you. If you have any questions, please join the free Discord. And if you guys want to trade with us, you guys can be able to see how we're executing the market, what my thought process is to be able to catch sniper entries, just the discipline of how I won't enter every single move that I see is just really helpful to also trade with the community. And if you want to book a one-on-one, the prices right now are getting ready to go up, but they're $300 right now for a one-on-one. I'll answer questions. We'll go over the strategy. I'll share my screen. You'll share your screen. That's kind of how it works. And then we have a 4-week mentorship if you're interested, where it's $1,500 up front, and we meet twice a week until you get the strategy down. It's a full hand holding situation. So if that interests you, please check us out and let's run up the bag, y'all. This year, you're going to make a lot of money with this strategy. So apply all the information that you learned today.